Hi everyone, welcome to Blue Coats Travel. My name is Jonna, and here we talk about ocean cruising and all things Disney. If that sounds interesting to you, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Today we're going to talk about one of the biggest mistakes I made during a vacation, and it happened to be on a cruise. So the situation was my husband and I had planned to go on a 4-day cruise. Now, the reason that we were doing this is because later in the year, we had a longer cruise scheduled with our normal group of friends, and we wanted to get to that platinum status. So we were taking a shorter cruise so we could get those days built up so that when we went on the longer cruise, we would be platinum. So we chose to do a 4-day cruise leaving out of Long Beach, California. And another change that had been different than we'd done in the past was about 6 months prior, we had moved from Iowa to Arkansas. So in the past, when we were leaving from Iowa, we were usually going to, we were cruising usually in February. And if anybody lives in the Midwest, they know that what usually happens in February in the Midwest is it snows. And so we usually always went the day before on our cruises because, we didn't want to run into weather delays. We'd have a snowstorm, ice storm, something would happen and we wouldn't be able to get on the airplane so that we could get on the cruise. So we always gave ourselves at least a day buffer to be able to get to the cruise port on time. So with this particular cruise, it was our first time leaving out of Arkansas. And we thought, well, one, we don't have nearly as much of threat as snow and a snowstorm that we had back in Iowa. And two, it was March. So it was a little bit later in the year. So the probability of snow in Arkansas was even less. So, and because of our schedules, it just didn't work out to be able to go that day before. So we took a chance and it did not turn out well. So we got to the airport, no problems there. However, there was fog that day, and that delayed the flight quite a bit for us leaving Arkansas. So by the time we got to our connecting flight, which I don't remember what city it was in, but weather wasn't an issue in that city. But we had missed that connecting flight. That we had packed for this particular cruise is we brought one carry-on item suitcase and one checked suitcase. So after waiting in long lines, dealing with trying to get on another flight, we were able to get on another flight. Now, the one thing that I did do well on this particular cruise was I booked our transportation from the airport to the cruise port through the cruise line. So I was in constant contact with the cruise line, letting them know that our flight had been delayed, when we'd gotten on another flight, what our flight number was, when it was supposed to land at LAX. And they were very, very good about communicating back to me and letting me know that someone would be there. When we did arrive at LAX, that person absolutely was there. We had missed the actual bus transportation that was going to take us, so they kindly booked us in a cab. They ordered a cab for us and paid for that cab fare, which was great. So the only problem was when we went to go pick up that checked bag on the carousel, it was not there. And so when we talked to the airlines, we were able to get on that flight and get to LAX, but our bag did not. And unfortunately, we were cutting it very, very close to being able to get on the ship. So we had to leave, give the airlines all of our information of what we were doing and where we were going, and we had to get in that cab and leave. Now, the sad part was that all of my clothes were, and makeup, toiletries, everything of mine was in the checked luggage, and my husband's clothes, toiletries, etc., was in the carry-on suitcase. So he luckily was able to have everything that he had packed, and I had nothing. So we did, after a very, very fast drive to the cruise port, we did make it onto the ship, but sadly, my luggage was not there as well. So basically, I went on a 4-day cruise with nothing but the clothes that I had on. So two really big lessons learned on this one. Well, maybe three. So one, always go in at least one day before you cruise. If you can't, it might not be a good idea to risk it. Two, if you can't go that day before, and even if you can, always purchase travel insurance. I did not on this one. I felt pretty confident that, I'd been on a lot of cruises at this point. I felt like I pretty much knew what I was doing, which I sort of did. But you can't control the weather. And, tons of different things can happen with airlines and being delayed. So when I did get on the ship, I did have to purchase things. Like I said, I didn't even have a hairbrush. So, I had to purchase some toiletries. Luckily, they sell makeup on the cruise, so I was able to purchase some of that. And they do have some clothes, so I was able to get a few clothing items. And luckily, it was only a 4-day cruise, and I did send the clothes that I was wearing on the ship. The next day, I did send that off to be cleaned. And this is where insurance could have come into play with my luggage being lost and the services they could have offered for me. And also, another thing that I should have done is immediately go to customer service and let them know what had happened. Lesson learned. And I think the third biggest thing that I learned out of that is how I pack. Never again will I put everything that I need in one bag. These days, I pack with the biggest personal item that I can. So I do like to check my luggage just so I can just pack more, basically, especially for a cruise, because you have to change your clothes. You have different clothes that you're wearing usually during the day. You might be wearing a swimsuit at part of that time, and then you probably do change and wear something different for dinner and for the evening activities. So I do want to continue to pack in the checked bag, but now, like I said, I bring a bigger personal item bag, and I at least have the toiletries that I'm going to need right away, the at least a change of clothes, pajamas, that type of thing. Even if I'm not going on a cruise, I will pack that way just in case my luggage doesn't make it when I do. So, lesson learned. So hopefully today's video has helped in some sort of a way to help with your next vacation and to make sure that you don't make the mistakes that I did. Make sure to tell me in the description box below what vacation mistakes you learned the most from. And on that note, if you would like help planning your next vacation, make sure to check out the link in the description box below. where we will get to know you and help make your vacation dreams come true. Until next time, have a great day. Bye, everyone.